All right. So welcome everybody. This is Ted at Rediker Software. We have a short webinar presentation for you today. It is my top 9 reasons for you to log into AdminPlus.com every single day. So of course, we're assuming that you're an AdminPlus user. And if you are, then you hopefully are aware of the fact that there is this supplemental tool to your AdminPlus Classic. It's called AdminPlus.com. It is been in development for a while, and it is available to all of you. And so we want you to encourage you to get in there every single day. Let me show you some of the reasons I believe that you should go ahead and do that. Number one is kind of for the instant login. So I've got a standard web browser here, and I have bookmarked AdminPlus.com, the URL from my particular school, the Chmura Academy. And as you can see, well, I actually took my time there and paused a little bit, but it only took me a matter of about 1 second or so to get into this environment. And I've used a user specification to tell the program to open up to the enrollment center. That might not be your preference. You might want to go ahead and set it for one of these other areas that you go to more often, like the student snapshot, or maybe the new school dashboard. We'll be talking about that in one moment. But just the mere fact that you can use a standard web browser, be anywhere in the world, not have to deal with the intermediary connection piece called Aircom is my number one reason for you to get logged into this thing every single day. Now, let's move on here to the student snapshot. So once we're logged in, one of the most popular areas to go to is the listing of your students, and more specifically, this student snapshot. So when you pull up any student's record in adminplus.com, we've rigged it to display information from the multiple modules that you could go to directly. Like, yeah, you can go straight to the demographics area. You can go over to the attendance detail area and the schedule and the contacts, et cetera, et cetera. But the snapshot is allowing you to see information from many of these modules all on one screen. And there is no better way for you to quickly get updated as to the status of a student. Things like, what room do they belong in right now? Do they have a history of getting into trouble? Do we have any recent documents that have added to their portfolio that we might want to pull up? And I want to point out something I haven't pointed out very often in the past. So I want to make sure that you understand that with so much information on the screen, some users may be worried. Well, if I leave my desk for a second, like if I go to the bathroom or go get a cup of coffee and my screen happens to be, visible to where a parent or a student could walk in and see it. Well, that's what these little eyeballs are all about. Okay, you can put any one of these tabs into privacy mode, and yes, it will reset that when you move to the next student record, but you've got this cogwheel up here, and you've got the privacy mode here, so that if you want to make sure things like the grades of the students, or maybe their discipline record, or their GPA, maybe these are things that you generally don't want to be showing as you navigate from one student record to the next. You want to make sure that those areas are hidden until you click the eyeball to make it visible. That is a very powerful feature in adminplus.com. It's something that you don't get in Classic so easily without messing with security settings. And so this is a very, very compelling reason to have adminplus.com open every single day. As long as your school is using the gradebook in the portals and is already kind of going through that sync process, well, any of the changes that you put into AdminPlus Classic, they end up here anyways. And so it can be very much a quicker way for you to go ahead and access information about a student. Oh, an adminplus.com exclusive feature is the ability for you to generate a live feed of grades for the student coming right from the teacher's gradebook. Let me go back over to, I'm going to fly back to Aaron Murray here for a second. And you'll see that Under the grades area, we've got this cogwheel for setup. And we can set the two columns up differently from each other. I have mine set up so that I can see whatever the AdminPlus report card grade was from last quarter or last marking period, which in my school, which is perpetually stuck in the third marking period, that was last marking period for me. But for this marking period, I don't want to just see a static snapshot of the student's grade the last time we retrieved the grades from the grade book, which, maybe it was yesterday, but maybe it was 5 weeks ago. So it's not a really good indicator of how the student is doing in their classes right now. I would much rather see the average of the student coming live from the grade books or the grade coming from the grade books. And so by setting it up that way, this represents a live feed. Again, if this student's teacher in Honors Junior's English class was to put in a test score right now that caused the student's average in that class to change, it would change here in adminplus.com. So this live feed is a very, very desirable feature that you can only get in adminplus.com. Further, as an extension of that, when you bring up the grades for a student, you'll have this ability to click on reports and to generate a live progress report for that student. Now, those of you that are familiar with gradebook progress reports know that these reports can be incredibly detailed. There's setting opportunities in here that would allow you to control how much of this information shows up. But as I click through this 11-page report for Camille, you'll see that we've got these detailed entries here for all the assignments that they were given in the grade book by the teacher in this class, and the grades that they're earning, and more. And if we go back over to the settings on this, you'll see that we've got this ability to be incredibly detailed with these reports. Just look at the options that you have here to pull a live progress report, even adding in skills grading. I should probably turn that on, since that's a very powerful feature to pull the individual skills grades or standards grades for the student. I've got all the attendance turned off, but we could incorporate that into the progress reports as well and get detailed information coming from all of the teachers' grade books about this student. And that definitely is on my top list here. But so is an easy filters, lookups and filters is your ability now to define new lookup views and filters. So many of you, this is not new. This is something that has been around in Classic for a long, long time. But many of you know that when you go to look up the list of students, that you often want to tailor this view. Like I may want to have, let's say I'm a Catholic school, and I want to have a view where I show only the list of all the Catholic school students. I'm sorry, Catholic identifying students. So I have a field in my database. It's called Catholic. If I drop that onto the view here, and maybe we'll make the gender go away here. So I've customized this view, but I want to go further than that. I at this point, I only want the list of students who identify as Catholic. And so you'll see the filter controls here allow me to update that and get the 282 students that meet the criteria of having the word Catholic in the Catholic data field. Let me go ahead and now save that. And so this will persist now. So I can move from my default view of the students and move to these alternate views that I've created over the years, but we just went ahead and created that Catholic view. So if I pull that up, it will dynamically give me the list of all the students in the school where the word Catholic appears in the Catholic demographic data field. And of course, most of you know from prior webinars that with a single click of the mouse here, we can go ahead and click on export and get that data, get that list right out into a spreadsheet. So it might be usable for you. Okay. So having this ability to define new views, edit existing views, delete views, rename them, and of course, clear any current filters on the screen is a very, very powerful feature. It's not exclusive to adminplus.com. We've been waiting for it, but it is now in the program. And just one more reason for you to get into this program every day, especially if part of your job is doing, looking up students, querying them. It's fantastic to do it in adminplus.com. Oh, the dashboard. Yeah, this was on my list the first time around that we did this webinar. It is still on the list. The dashboard that has been added in here it's just great. And we are getting many, many compliments for what you can do with this collection of tiles and these charts, if you will. So these numbers, have data behind them. And if we look into the dashboard, I'm gonna pick one particular item here, the high school academic risk. We're gonna feature that one. This is the one that I've personally gotten the most feedback about, besides the simple absent and tardy, the attendance-driven tiles. But this is a tile that I created that is leveraging the grade search widget. There are 15 different widgets that you can use to query your AdminPlus database and to bring back results. So I've told the system to query the third quarter average the live gradebook average of the student, and anybody that has an average in any one of their classes that is essentially lower than a 59, as long as they're in the high school. I've limited this to my high school kids. Then go ahead and bring that information and give me that tile. So that high school academic tile can now be clicked on. And when I click on it, it shows me the names of the 10 classes that have a student in it that have an average of less than 59. So these students would basically be called academically at risk. And rather than have to go run a report, you can have this on your screen at all times. And every time you visit the dashboard or every single time you click the refresh button, it'll dynamically update. Let me go ahead and I'm going to make a small change to this. I'm going to up the limit here. 59. I'm actually worried about students even if they have a grade up to a 69. So if I go ahead and change that, notice that it just on the fly, it dynamically updated to a 14. There it is. Now I've got more students on the list who are falling into that threshold. So that definitely, the dashboard itself, and specifically this ability to go and identify students that are at academic risk based on their grades live in their classrooms right now, is a huge thing. So, looking at some of these other things, simple things like the list of students that are tardy today, the list of students that are absent today, or the attendance status of, all the students in the school can be easily brought up in these tiles and the charts. So definitely you want to check that out and play around with the charts and the tiles. Understand that they are exclusive to you. When you log into adminplus.com, any of these charts that you alter or create don't affect anybody else. So you don't have to worry about upsetting another user. Every user gets their own sets of tiles on the dashboard. Oh, a simple thing, the online portfolio viewer. What is that all about? That's really simple. And actually, we can just go right here and see that for this student, they've got a couple of recently uploaded portfolio documents. A single click on the eyeball will go ahead and show that thing to you immediately up on your screen. You don't have to wait for it to download. You don't have to go and print it out. Maybe you want to do those things. And if you want to do those things, you can do those things. But most often, when somebody's looking up, Hank Adams, yeah, we want to make sure. Yeah, I thought he signed up for the chess club. I thought he signed up for that field trip, and in fact, in this case, an online form was submitted by the mother, signing the child up to go on this international trip, and verified all their information and picked some things out and signed off on it. That document is in the student's portfolio, and I can view that in record time without having to wait for the document to download. Download to my local computer. You've got the web viewer, the web portfolio viewer. It'll work there. It'll work in the portfolio tab here. A couple quick questions on the fly here. I don't usually do this. I usually wait to the end. But how do we get to those grade reports? Well, specifically, I'll go ahead and answer that. The way that I got to the grade report was by moving to a student record that has some grades, Camille. I went to the grades tab and I clicked on reports, and then it's allowing me to generate a progress report based on the settings that I would set up here with the cogwheel. Okay, so Lucy, I hope that helps you out. And Diane asks, will any form you send to a parent show in that file? Well, if it's an AdminPlus online form, when you receive an online form and approve it and bring it on into the system. So when I come over here and I see that there are some submitted online forms, when I come here and approve this form, yes, it makes a PDF copy of the form, and it shoves it on into the portfolio of that student. Let me move on with my top 10 here. The online portfolio viewer was number 7. Oh, data export efficiencies. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I guess it's not too much easier to do this in .com than it is in Classic, but I feel that because you've got the word exports right here, and then you've got school, student, staff, and a list of the available exports. So if I want to pull a thing like, some student data out, the ease with which I can go here, I'll go back to that Catholic field again. This time I'll leave the gender in. But if I want to come in here and export this information only for my high school kids, right? It's just really easy to do. If I go ahead and click on the download button, I usually count to about 5, and I will have that data exported out of adminplus.com and brought up into a spreadsheet. Okay. So there it is. This time we included the gender this time in this extract from AdminPlus. Definitely go ahead and try that out, and go ahead and try the exports out. I think that you'll find that they're very, very easy to work with. And that's on my list here of the top 9 reasons to use adminplus.com. Oh, and then number 9 has really, there's nothing to show you except that this is where the software is headed. We're on this journey to imagine the software and take all that functionality from AdminPlus Classic that you've come to know and sometimes love and rely on, but making it better by bringing it up into the web browser. And so every time that you log into adminplus.com, you're basically getting used to the future. I want to make sure that this is very clear. We are not turning off the switch on your AdminPlus Classic anytime soon, so don't worry about that. We're not ripping it away from you. It'll be alive for at least another school year after this one. But you definitely want to get used to using adminplus.com because it's our future. And of course, I like to over deliver, so I'm throwing in one more bonus here on number 10. Top reason to get in there is because it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's this tool, this supplemental or complementary tool, is already figured into the current subscription cost that you're paying to Rediker. So nobody's got to whip out the checkbook and spend a single extra penny for you to have access to adminplus.com or the AdminPlus mobile app. And we really hope that every single one of you is taking advantage of the AdminPlus mobile app, and AdminPlus.com itself. Okay, so with that, I want to remind you, as I always do, that you can go about all of this alone. You can hit the user guide out there and look through it. We've got a lot of great documentation here. Or if you'd prefer, you could have us help you out. We have people here on staff, our training team. They are very experienced. They can help with every aspect of the Rediker software. Every single tool from AdminPlus, from the admissions, AP Notify, Teacher Evaluator, Ready Sites, scheduling, everything that we've got, they are qualified to help you out. And if you want to make arrangements to pair up with them so that they can give you some personal instruction, please just go ahead and reach on out to your account manager. We'll help you make those arrangements. Okay, very good. With that, I want to say thank you for attending, and I hope to see you on another webinar really soon, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the day. Thanks now. Bye-bye.